Welcome to Messages from Light with Nikki Avery. Hey guys, this is Nikki with Messages from Light. And today I want to talk about breaking the cycle. Now, I haven't been on in a couple of days, and I'll explain that a little more later. Right now, the big message that they want to get across is this need to break the cycle. And I think a lot of you are experiencing this right now. I'm seeing it come up a lot universally. I'm seeing it come up within people that I'm working with on a daily basis. And I'm seeing it come up within my own life. And they're being very adamant about this subject. And what we're talking about here is we all have these negative loops, these negative cycles that we get into. And this can be anything from being in a negative relationship, to being in a negative mindset, to being in a job that isn't fulfilling, or a job that isn't feeding your soul, that isn't giving you what you need. This can be any kind of a blockage. Okay, now what we know is that when we have these things, these blockages, this is a reoccurring theme within our lives. So if it's relationships, you get out of one relationship, you get into another, and the same cycle starts to happen again. You start to see the same outcomes. When we see this, we get upset and we get angry and we get frustrated. And we forget to step back and look at the bigger picture. When we see these cycles starting to play in our lives, number one, we need to recognize what's a cycle. If you're going from one job to another, to another, to another, and none of them are making you happy and none of them are fulfilling you, none of them are giving you what you need on a material level as well as a spiritual level, then we need to examine that cycle. We need to see why you continue to pick these jobs that are not fulfilling you, and we need to see what will fulfill you. Now, here's the thing, guys. When we start looking at what is causing these cycles, the root of everything is fear. I'll say that again. The root of everything that is blocking you in any way is fear. The root of anger is fear. The root of jealousy is fear. The root of all negative vibration is fear. That's the thing we have to break away from. When we talk about breaking the cycle, what we're saying is, if you continue to do the same thing and you get the same results, why are you not changing what you're doing? If you're going from one relationship to another and all of them are negative, why are you not staying out of a relationship for a while? Because the cycle is happening because of something inside of you that needs work. It's not happening because of other people. And that's the mistake we make. We start looking at these things in our lives and we start saying, well, this person did this and that person did that. And well, this job is this way and this job is that way. That's not the problem, guys. That's not where your solution is. It's not external. It's internal. What you need to be looking at is what you need to be changing, whether it be the way that you're thinking, whether it be what you're looking for, whether it be what you're actively seeking. You need to figure out what it is that you need to change to break the cycle. If you're continually allowing someone to treat you in a negative manner, then you need to break that cycle. And understand something. We can walk away from people and still love them. We can love them and we can wish them the best and we can pray for them or send energy towards them or whatever way you choose to do that. But it doesn't mean you have to continue to allow them in your life and continue to allow them to run a negative loop. We have to be willing to step up, and we have to be willing to make the changes. It's not easy, guys. Nobody said this was easy. You didn't choose easy when you made the choice to come here. You didn't choose easy when you made the choice to start seeking awakening and enlightenment. That's not what you asked for. You asked for the way to lift yourself spiritually. You asked for the way to lift your vibration. You asked for the way to raise your consciousness. And the way to do that is internal. Breaking the cycle is internal. These loops that are playing out in your life, they're playing out because of you. You have to find them. You have to find the cause of them. And you have to be willing to admit what the true fear is. That's not always easy to do. When we start looking at fear, we have all of these other things that come in and try to block it. All of these other things that come in and try to keep us from getting to the root of that fear. So we'll make excuses for why we don't need to do the work. Oh, I'm working too many hours. I'm doing 12-hour shifts. I've got kids. I've got other obligations. I've got all of these other things that are more important. But the fact of the matter is, none of those things are more important than what you need to do to further your growth and to further your path and the path of the people around you. Because when we break our cycles, we also force other people to start looking at their own cycles. That's it, dude. That's the way it is. We create ripples, and every one of those ripples has an effect. So you want to change the world? Change you. How many times have you heard it? We hear it all the time. It's a mantra in the new age, and we know it so well. But are we doing it? Break the cycle. Don't make excuses. You can make an excuse to not do anything. Find excuses to do it. If the root of your fear is you're scared of being alone, ultimately, that means you're scared of facing yourself. So what do you need to do? Are any of these other things that you're chasing, whether it be career or relationships or whatever, are any of these other things going to fulfill you? If you cannot be okay on your own, in your own space, in your own head. See, that's what it's about, guys. It's about clearing away the clutter. Break your cycles. Stop making excuses for your behavior. Stop making excuses for not doing what you know you need to do. If you need out of that relationship, stop finding reasons to stay. If that job is not fulfilling you, stop finding excuses as to why you have to do it. There's always another way, guys. The doors are never closed. We think they are. Our perception tells us that they are. But they're not. You just have to step outside of your own emotion far enough to look at it, to look at the bigger picture, to look at it objectively. My dad used to always say, you have to see the forest for the trees, and most people can't. You're so focused on what's directly in front of you that you can't see all of the wonderful things that are just outside of your field of vision. It's all of the things that are just blurring at the edges. It's what you're looking for, right? It's that knowledge. It's that understanding. It's feeling like you're moving in the right direction, feeling like things are processing in the right way. We have to break our cycles. And let's understand that once we start to break these cycles, once we start to make these changes, okay, so let's use walking away from someone who is a negative influence or who is not supporting you. When we have to walk away from people that we care about due to them not supporting us or negative treatment or whatever the reason may be, it's not easy to do. Sometimes we have to make that choice for us. Now, when you make that choice, it's not an immediate thing, okay? We make the mistake of thinking that just because we decide suddenly, that means it's fixed. It's not. Here's the best way I can explain. You know how when a hamster gets on the hamster wheel and they're running and running and running and the wheel's just spinning, and then they suddenly jump off of the wheel, and the wheel keeps spinning even without them? Okay, the momentum of the cycles you have created in your life will continue to spin forward for a little bit. Not long, but a little bit. This is part of the design. It's supposed to happen that way because it keeps you working towards what you want, right? If you just say, I want, and boom, snap your fingers and it's right in front of you, are you fully understanding what you're asking for? Are you fully understanding the lessons that was trying to teach you? No, you're not. You understand the lessons once you recognize the cycle and you start working to break it. Which means you're going to try to break away from that negative person, and things are going to happen that put that person back into your perspective. Doesn't mean you have to engage. Okay? It doesn't mean that you have to participate. Just because that person is still there, it doesn't mean that you have to step back into the cycle. It's the same with a job. Just because there's another job similar to what you're already doing and it'll pay you, doesn't mean that that's the appropriate step. Is that what feels right in your heart? Or is that what you're doing for fear of lack? Which is it? Pay attention to what's at the base of your choices. What's at the base of the things you're looking at. Break your cycles. Break away from this idea that everything has to keep going in the same direction. If a relationship isn't working and you've been trying to fix it and it's steadily getting worse and it's not working, it's time to step away. Sometimes the only way that we can fix it is to walk away. And everybody take their own time and space. Fix themselves. It's the same thing, guys. It's internal. It's what you need to do to fix you. You want to know how you step out of the loop? You stop making the same choices. Every time your mind tells you to make those choices, which it's going to do because right now it's trained towards that negative or lack or fear idealism, okay? But every time it does that, you have to step up and say, nope, we're not going to act that way anymore. I'm not going to behave out of a sense of fear. I'm going to behave out of a sense of knowing that I am loved and that I have the right to be happy and have the things in my life that I need to be at peace within. It calls for a leap of faith, guys. Anytime we talk about breaking a cycle, it's a leap of faith. It's believing in something that you cannot yet see. But if you work towards it, I promise you, it will materialize. Yes, the wheel will keep spinning for a few minutes. for a few days, for a few weeks, for a few months, whatever. And guess what? It still might cycle back up just to go, hey, are you sure you're done? But if you keep on and you keep working to stop the pattern and ensure that you're not going back to those old habits and those old ways of thinking and behaving, you'll get where you want to be. Got to step outside of the circle, guys. You got to start looking. You got to start finding those fears, and you got to start erasing them. That means facing them. Because, see, there's nothing really there. It's just an emotion that's inside of you. There's nothing to fear. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you got what you needed. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what cycles you're breaking and how you're going about it. I love talking to you guys. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, share the video, and let me know what's going on. Okay? If you want to know more about me, check out the website. It's awakenlight.com. And until next time, I love you guys. Keep growing your light. Bye.